Welcome to this weekly. The first problem we will look at is a number problem. It says the larger of two numbers is 4 times the smaller. If the larger number is increased by 12, the result is 5 times the smaller number. So find the numbers. If you always look at the last sentence in these types of questions, it'll tell you what you're looking for. So we're looking for the two numbers. We need let statements. Let's start there. So we have the smaller number, and we have the larger number. Okay, the smaller number. Well, it says the larger of the two numbers is 4 times the smaller. If only we knew the smaller, we could find the larger. So that's what it's based on. It's based on the smaller. And it says that the larger is 4 times the smaller. All right. Now it says if the larger number, looking at the second sentence, is increased by 12, so we have the larger number, add 12 to it, the result is 5 times the smaller number. Well, the smaller number is x, so it's 5 times x. And let's just solve for x. So if we subtract 4x from both sides, we should come up with 12 equals 1x, or x equals 12. And all we need to do is use substitution at the end. The smaller number is 12, and the larger number is 12 times 4, or 48. And those are our two numbers. Please stay tuned for the question to follow. Okay, now let's look at a consecutive integer problem. It says the sum of the least and greatest of 3 consecutive integers is 60. What are the values of the 3 integers? So again, the last sentence will tell us what we're looking for. So what are the values of them? So let's start with a let statement. So let the first integer equal the second integer equal and the third integer equal. So they are consecutive. If I knew the first, I could find the rest of them. So if we start with x for the first, we will find the next consecutive integer by adding 1, and we'd find the third by adding 2 to the first integer. All right, so the sum of the least and the greatest. That means I'm going to add the smallest and the largest. So x plus 2 is 60. So equals 60. And combine like terms here. 2x plus 2. Results right there. 2x plus 2 equals 60. And we will subtract the 2 from both sides. 2x equals 58. And divide by 2. And x will be 29. And so the last thing we need to do is go back here and say, well, I have 29 for x, add 1 to get 30, and add 2 to get 31. So we should have 29, 30, and 31. Please stay tuned for the question that follows. This question here is a consecutive even integer problem. So that will give us a twist when we look at the let statements. So it says find 3 consecutive even integers, consecutive even is important, whose sum is 18. All right, so add them together, get 18. Let's go with our let statement. So let's let our first integer equal, our second integer equal, and our third integer equal. So the difference here, because it's even, is that if I knew the first, I would go to the next even number by adding 2, not just adding 1. Okay, then I would get to the third even integer by adding 4, instead of by adding 2 if it were just a regular consecutive integer problem. Now it says if I add all of these, I should get 18. So x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 18. So here we are, adding my like terms. 3x plus 6 equals 18. And let's subtract the 6. So 3x equals 12. And if I divide by 3, I would have x equals 4. So if I go back to my let statements, that gives me 4, 6, and 8. And they do all add to 18. So that is our answer. Please stay tuned for the question that follows. Let's look at a money problem. It says Mario has pennies and dimes in his pocket. So the number of pennies is 3 less than 2 times the number of dimes. So it's 3 less than 2 times the number of dimes. Everything here is revolving around dimes, and so when we go to our let statements, that should help us out. So we'll say the number of pennies equal and the number of dimes equal. Okay, so this is the number of pennies is going to be based on dimes, we said. So dimes will be x, and it's 3 less than. So subtract 3 from what? 2 times the number of dimes. And we said that that's x. So it's 2x minus 3. That's what we will use for pennies. Now, if he has a total of 45 cents, how many pennies and dimes does he have in his pocket? So that's really what we're looking for. Again, last part of the question here, how many dimes and pennies? So if I add all of these up, I should get an answer of 45 cents. Okay, well, let's see. If I add the pennies, the 2x minus 3, and if I add that to the dimes, which is x, I should get 45 cents. But that doesn't quite make sense. Not until I give a value for each of these coins, and that's what I need to do because it does give us a monetary value of 45 cents. So each penny is going to be worth 1 cent, and each dime is going to be worth 10 cents. So now we have our equation. All we need to do is distribute, clean things up, and we should have our number of each coin. So distribution here will give us 0.02x and minus 0.03. Bring down this 10 cents x and our 45 cents. I have some like terms to combine here, so let's go with 12 cents now. So 12 cents x minus 0.03 and equals 0.45 still. Add the 3 cents to both sides, and we should have 0.12 x, and that should be now 48 cents. And then divide by our 12 cents. X should be 4. Alright, so pretty much we have our answer now. We have an answer of 4 dimes and an answer of, let's see, we said 4 dimes, and an answer of 2 times 4, or 8 minus 3, 5 pennies. So 5 pennies and 4 dimes. Please stay tuned for the question that follows. And now let's look at a perimeter question. This question says when 2 opposite sides of a square are increased by 3 centimeters, and the other 2 opposite sides are decreased by 1 centimeter, a rectangle results that has a perimeter of 40. And we will look for the length of a side of the original square. What I would do here is, before we make our let statements, I would draw the square, and this square is originally an x by x. Now the new square says that the 2 opposite sides will be increased by 3 centimeters. Okay, so it would be longer, x plus 3. And it would be decreased by 1 centimeter, so this is going to be an x minus 1. And there's somewhat of a representation of our rectangle. Now it says the perimeter is going to be 40. So we know properties of rectangles. Opposite sides are going to be congruent, which means they will be the same. And so I have a x minus 1. I actually have 2 of them added to 2 of the x plus 3's. And the perimeter should be 40. And remember, perimeter is when we add all sides together. So let's distribute. We have 2x minus 2. And here we have 2x plus 6, positive 2x, positive 6. And let's combine. We have 2x and 2x. We have 4x. We have a negative 2, positive 6 for a negative 4. Positive 4. And equals 40. And just work on cleaning things up here. 4x equals 36, and divide by 4. X equals 9, which if we go back here, we never actually wrote a let statement, but if I did, I would have said see, original side length equal x. And if we plug in the 9, we would know that obviously it's a 9 by 9 for our original square. Please stay tuned for the question that follows.